We all want to know how I lost 10 pounds in the first 2 weeks of me doing keto. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Janet, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and give this video a like to let me know that you're liking my content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so YouTube can let you know when I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, then welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what I ate in order to lose 10 pounds in my first 2 weeks on keto. So I started at 240 pounds when I first started keto, and I've now gotten to the maintenance stage where I've been pretty close to my goal weight since August of 2020. I have maintained about 140 for the last 6 months. I did get down to 133 pounds, but right now I'm maintaining 145 pounds right now. I would love to get back down to 133 to 135, but I'm just trying to find that maintenance balance. And it is very, very hard to actually be in maintenance to find that balance. But in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you what I ate for the first 2 weeks on keto. So let's get started. All right, I was just as new as you guys are or were starting keto. I had no idea. I had to do so much research. I followed a lot of other YouTubers. I was Googling how to start keto, what I need to eat on keto, how I'm gonna feel when I start keto. So when I first started, I did get the keto flu. I only got it for about 3 days, however, and I made sure that I stocked up on all my electrolytes, taking my potassium and my magnesium supplements. That tremendously helped. I did take a headache pill, I believe, on the second day because it was just too much, but I tried not to take any other medications as far as like headache pills or anything like that that could maybe like hinder my weight loss, because definitely taking medication like that does hinder your weight loss. Unfortunately, it's just how it works. But for the first 3 days, I felt lethargic, had a headache, and I was hungry. I had those cravings, and even when I go off plan and I'm going back into ketosis, I still get those feelings. I still get a slight headache, and I'm hungry because your body just gets used to all of those sugars and those carbs in your body, and they want more. Once you start having it, they want more. And with myself, I never got enough. I never got enough carbs. I never got enough food. I just kept on eating and eating all day long. So when I went from that to keto and I actually set my mind to that, that's what made the big change as far as like my hunger and just kind of like my loss of appetite going keto. All of that played a huge part in my weight loss. So when I first started keto, I did the chicken wing fast. I did it for 3 days. I actually went to a local pub here, and I ended up getting 3 days worth. So it was actually 3 servings of about, I think it was 12 to 15 wings per container. I got them totally naked, nothing on them, and I got 3 containers of those, and I brought them home. I put them all in my fridge, and I ate chicken wings for the first 3 days. So whether you want to start out with a fast to maybe get into ketosis a little bit faster, or if you just want to start the traditional way by having your bacon and eggs and having like clean keto, that's up to you. But I knew that my cravings were going to be very, very strong, starting at that weight, first of all, and just being addicted to food like I was. I needed something drastic to start me off. So on keto, when I started keto after those 3 days, I started full force, and I started with clean keto for probably the first 3 or 4 months of it. I ate completely clean keto. I had total carbs. I didn't go off the rails. I didn't even know how to figure out net carbs at that time. So I just stuck with what I knew, and that was total carbs. So for breakfast, I was usually having a breakfast bowl. I have made that before here on my channel, but that was my staple. I ate a lot of things repetitively is what I did when I started keto, because that's what was working for me and I didn't get sick of those foods, so I ate a lot of the same foods. So for breakfast, for my meal number one, because I started out with 2 meals a day just as I'm doing now, and that was a breakfast bowl, and I had that with scrambled eggs, bacon, avocado, some mayonnaise, and some shredded cheese. I would mix all of that up and have that for my meal number one, and it was so good. It's still one of my go-to meals, actually. I really liked it because it was simple and it was easy, and it was things that I had on hand like now, right? It wasn't a lot of making a recipe, trying to figure out what net carbs, what I can have, what I can't have, because at that point when I was starting, it was very, very confusing on even making a simple recipe keto. So that's why I started with just the basics. So that's what I would have for meal number one. For meal number two, I was having a lot of my chicken, my cheese crusted chicken. It was a recipe that I just kind of made up because I thought all the ingredients, it was really, really simple to make and that were all keto approved. So it was just making chicken. I've made it on my YouTube as well. I will actually link the videos here if I can find them of all of the recipes that I'm resorting to. But it was really, really simple. All it was chicken breasts. Then I would also, to the side, I would make a mixture of mayonnaise and shredded cheese, whether it was mozzarella, cheddar, whatever sort of cheese that you had on hand. I would mix that together, spread it over top of my chicken with some seasonings, and put it in the oven. They're done. Like, that was a fully keto meal. It was easy. It met all my macros. It was high in fat. I would pair that usually with some green beans. I would fry up some bacon and put some green beans in the pan, and that would be my meal for meal number two. And I ate that on repeat as well because it was easy to make and I knew the macros for it, and it was all very, very easy keto. Another day of meals for me on keto within my first 2 weeks was my meal number one. I would make kind of like a cheese breakfast wrap. And I have made this as well, and it is very, very simple. All you do was taking shredded cheese, throwing it in the oven in order to make your shell, and then I was just putting some scrambled eggs and bacon and cheese and avocado on the top, and then I was just eating it like a taco. So this was one of my favorite meals. I ate that on repeat as well, and it was very, very satisfying. It was so high in fat. And then as well for meal number two, another option that I was having is I was addicted to making loaded cauliflower bake. So I started making that, and it was definitely a go-to of mine. I made it all the time. I would pair it with some grilled chicken that I either would cook on the barbecue or in the oven, like with the skin on, like either drumsticks or chicken thighs. Very, very high in fat, very satisfied to eat, and so I was pairing a lot of that as well too. So I would have chicken with my loaded cauliflower bake, and that was another full meal that I had on keto. I ate that quite a bit as well too, just because it fit all of my macros. It was all clean keto foods. Another go-to of mine, definitely, which is easy keto, and I'm sure you all have made this, is definitely an easy alternative, is an omelet. Omelets are great on keto. It definitely gets all of your macros. Make sure that you're stuffing it with like some low carb vegetables, as well as maybe some ham, and make sure that you're filling it with cheese. I also sometimes will put like a little bit of mayonnaise mixture with my shredded cheese just to get that extra fat in my omelet. But omelets was absolutely a great meal to have on keto. Very, very clean items as well too, and you probably already have all of those items in your fridge, and that is one thing that I stuck to. I kind of like made variations between those things, like things that were using eggs, bacon, cheese. I just made variation with those food items to make different food meals because it was all clean keto, and that is what I wanted to stick to. I didn't want to derail myself, and I wanted to feel satisfied with what I was eating. Another favorite meal of mine, the favorite meal, other than pizza, of course, was steak. Steak is still definitely a favorite of mine. I absolutely love steak. And so that was one thing that I incorporated. Steak is definitely keto approved. Just to make sure that you're adding a fat source to it, whether you're putting butter on top. That's usually what I did. And I was putting a tablespoon on my cooked steak already, and I was having just a side of vegetables or even a side salad. That was my go-to because I was getting a lot of fat with the salad dressings. I would just have a simple salad, lettuce, some mushrooms, some shredded cheese, cucumbers, and then I would add ranch dressing on top because ranch is my favorite salad dressing and it is full of fat. So just make sure when you're thinking about meals, even if it is a lean protein that you're having, you need to pair that with a high fat source. So whether you can do like the chicken with the mayo and the cheese on top and then bake it like that, or with your steak to add the butter on top. You just have to make sure that you're adding a fat source with that lean meat. Also, if you wanted to go really, really simple and easy keto, bacon and eggs, you guys. Bacon and eggs. That's all you need. I was having like 3 or 4 slices of bacon paired with a couple, 3 eggs, like whatever way you like them, whether it's scrambled, poached, and simple as that. As time went along, I did add like a keto toast with it that I found, but for the most part, when I first started, definitely those 2 weeks, I was just having like bacon and eggs and sticking to that. Clean keto. It was also high in fat. I didn't have to worry about where I was getting my fat source other than the bacon was really, really high in fat. So that was another very, very simple keto meal that I was having. And also I just made this in my last video, which I will also link here, but it was one of my go-tos and my favorites last summer. And that was my chicken kebabs. I absolutely, still to this day, I absolutely love them. So I was making that last summer. I was grilling my chicken last summer on the barbecue, and I was definitely barbecuing a lot of my lean meats on there as well as my low carb vegetables. And then to add a fat source, I was usually just adding a dip of some sort or dressing of some sort. So I always use the artichoke and Asiago dip. That was my go-to. It's high in fat, 0 carbs. I was putting that on my chicken, my vegetables, and it gave it so much flavor that it was very, very satisfying as a keto meal. So those are the meals that I had pretty much on repeat. I kind of rotated those throughout the first 2 weeks on my keto journey, and I ended up losing, I think it was 12 pounds on my first 2 weeks of keto. I stuck to it. I made sure that I drank lots of water. I tracked all of my food in my FitnessPal to make sure that I was on track with my personal macros. And I downloaded my FitnessPal and I used that every day to make sure I was on track with my macros. So highly recommend you downloading that app or even a carb manager app to help you keep track of all of your macros. Very, very helpful when you're first starting, or even writing it out as well too. There is also one thing that I got from Amazon when I started was a keto journal. So I have that linked down below. That was really, really helpful if you are not used to having apps on your phone and you're just a pen and paper type of person. But just keep on track on writing down what you are eating, and it will help you as time goes along, because as time does go along, you will actually hit a plateau and you won't be able to lose any weight. So that is the time where you kind of need to switch things up, and going back to basics is always a good resort. So most of my videos right now is net carbs because I am in maintenance. I am trying to lose a few pounds, but I'm not like dire hard of losing those pounds like I was at the very beginning when I was 240 pounds. Right now, I'm just trying to find that level of maintenance, and that's why a lot of my videos will be net carbs, but I do occasionally do the total carb videos, and that will be very helpful for you that are on a weight loss journey and looking to lose weight, and it definitely pays to go back to basics. I always say, if you're at a stall, you're not losing anymore, you don't know why you're not losing, you're frustrated, go back to basics. Stop the net carbs, go back to total carbs, and I guarantee you, you will get back on track and you will feel amazing. And just make sure that you stick to it, you guys. Even if you go off the rails, even if you had a birthday or whatever sort of event, just get back on the next day. Everybody's gone through it. I've gone through it multiple times in my 1.5 years, and then keep going. The main thing is just to keep going. You know what? If this is going to be a lifestyle that you chose to be on keto, you have to make it a lifestyle. And that means something that you can stick to long term, okay? So I'm not saying to never have a piece of cake ever in the rest of your life. You know what? You can indulge. You can have that day off. You can enjoy your birthday, Christmas. But just make sure that the next day that you get back on track, and that's what's going to keep you successful on your weight loss journey of losing weight. So thank you so much. I hope this video helped you and showed you how I lost over 10 pounds in my first 2 weeks of keto. If you're interested in more videos like this and you want to learn how I ended up losing most of my weight in the first 6 months, let me know down below. If there's any suggestions on how you are losing weight, let me know down below as well too. Make sure that you write in the comments. You're helping others by your suggestions on what worked for you. So please share your experiences and kind of like the tips and tricks that you learned along the way. So thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button and give this video a like to let me know that you're liking my content. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so YouTube can notify you when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.